Chesapeake, babe. What's going on, fishy friends? I'm very excited tonight to have Sam Tudor of Outdoors in Maryland with us. But first, I'd like to introduce the sponsor for the show. Once again, it is Crazyhorse Custom Fishing Rods. No relation to me at all, just good people that make good fishing rods with a modern twist. Please reach out to David and Kelly. They make good stuff. Here's the information to reach out to them. All righty. So the news for the week is we are adding one more episode. I reached out to my buddy Brandon, the Baltimore angler, and he will be joining us after next week, where Kevin Hogan with Bass Rock Outdoors will be joining us. So I'm super pumped to have Brandon. Couldn't really go this season without topping it off with an awesome show. But the season is ending soon because pretty soon that the time's going to change and I'm going to be out there on the water instead of here doing these video blogs. But tonight we have Sam Tudor with us. Sam is a native Marylander with over 30 years of fishing and hunting experience. He also runs a successful YouTube channel, Outdoors in Maryland. As always, I won't be offended. Please go check out his channel. Click the like and subscribe to his channel because, and let me go ahead and bring Sam in here. What's up, Sam?
Hello. Hey, first, before, I do not have 30 years of hunting experience. I'm very, very, very new to hunting. I'm from the city, man. So
man, just take it and roll with it, bro. Nobody was going to ask you any questions.
Yeah.
But here's why y'all need to follow his channel and say hello to his lovely wife in the background.
Lori.
Here's why you need to follow his channel, because I've given him the nickname the Catch and Cook Guru, because my man can like throw down fishing, hunting, but then also throw down in the kitchen. And we're going to do a little bit of that tonight. What's going on, man? How you been?
I'm doing good, man. We've been sitting around for a couple of hours just relaxing, and I get off pretty early on Tuesdays. I took my nice afternoon nap, so this old guy is ready to go.
Bro, we keep telling you, me and Kevin keep telling you, you're not old. You're like, if you're old, then that means I'm getting old. So like, you can't be old.
That was that was really for Kevin's sake.
Yeah, because he's always calling you Gramps. But so I hope this nickname sticks. We can call you Catch and Cook Guru, whatever. But what do you like better, the catching or the cooking?
I like the catching. That's the whole point of it. Don't get me wrong, I haven't missed a meal, but I love the catching part. That's the whole thing.
Well, tell us how you got into fishing and hunting.
It was basically the fishing stuff was one Saturday morning, and I'm watching TV, and all you see was that buzz bait coming across the water when Bill Dance was getting ready to come on the show. And once the bass exploded on it, I was going, I want to do that. The hunting part came later. I met a friend of mine really close. I mean, when I say outdoorsman, I consider him. I mean, I've never seen a hardcore guy. I mean, if he ain't fishing, he's hunting. I mean, he's out every day. I mean, I've never seen a guy exhaust himself.
Man, shout him out. Who are we talking about?
His name's Keith, but I mean, when it comes to hunting, he's one to finally. I might be able to tell you the bear story.
The what?
The bear story. My first time ever hunting.
Oh man, tell the bear story, dude. Well, like, you can't leave a cliffhanger like that.
Well, I'll try to make it quick. So my first time ever hunting, we go out. My buddy goes, "Come on, man, go hunting." He's been bugging me for years ago, and I finally go out on opening day. And let me tell you what, opening day for 2 weeks when it comes gun season, for 2 weeks people hunt. And he took me out on opening day, and early that morning, I asked him because it was my first day hunting, and I'm from the city, so I like lights. So going into the woods where I can't see this far in front of my face, basically pick a spot, I sat down, and that morning when we were loading the truck up, I asked Wayne specifically, "We're not going to see any bears out there, are we?" He said, "I've been out there for years. I have never ran into a bear." And so I'm hunting. I get my first chance at my deer ever, and I miss, and I haven't got any better since then. And 20 minutes later, I'm on the ground. So I'm sitting on the ground. I hear walking behind me, and there's a 300-pound bear and 3 cubs with her.
Oh my God! Oh, the cubs
and cubs.
Oh, that could have been bad.
So I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of look up. I turn around, and I am just. It's cool because they're walking away. They're literally walking away from me. They walked in front of Wayne. So Wayne's laughing his butt off because there's a bear out there after me asking him. But this bear actually walked up on my buddy Keith. I mean, he was sitting on a tree and from arm length away, walked right up onto him. So when he gets up, he spooks the bear, and every one of them just come straight beeline, full-fledged, completely straight at me. And
man, what I would pay to get a snapshot of your face when that happened. But we're going to do some cooking tonight. But before we get to that, tell us a little bit about that and like what's your favorite thing to cook?
Barbecue and anything that I kill. Whether fish, deer.
You ever combine the two, barbecue with anything that you kill?
Yeah, well, I think what I'm going to try to do is actually make a meatloaf, and I want to make a meatloaf, and it should have we're going to put deviled eggs in it and spinach and cream cheese, and we're going to go ahead and stick that on a smoker. So I'm thinking that's most likely going to be another episode. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Cool. Well, guys, we have a treat for everyone tonight. I think most people that watch this show probably watch a lot of podcasts or watch a lot of video blogs. And usually it's, a bunch of guys like us sitting around talking about fishing, acting like they know more than the next guy. And I'll be the first one to tell you I don't know more than the next guy on that. But like tonight, we're going to do something a whole lot different. And we'll see how it goes. I've never done this before, but Sam and his wife, Lori, we're going to make this a little bit of a special, and it's going to be a cooking episode, which I think is going to be awesome. So you have something that you're going to cook for us tonight. Can you show us what you got going and how you did the preparation?
All right. So what we have here is that we have rockfish that we caught when we were fishing together. I had it frozen. So I pretty much already.
One of those I caught, isn't it?
Yep, absolutely. I couldn't catch a keeper that day. So what I did, I already sprinkled this with Old Bay, and I already got butter on top of it. Okay. And I'm going to have my beautiful wife mix everything. All right. So what we have in here with the ingredients, I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of mustard in there. I put 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise in there. I'm going to put probably a dash of. This is just a Maryland. Pretty much, we're making a Maryland crab cake. All right. Old Bay. I don't know how did that get in there. I wonder how that got in there.
I don't know whose that is.
But we're going to do Old Bay. Now for us, I'm going to have her mix this while I'm talking. So this in here and 1 egg. We mixed all the wet ingredients already in here. Okay. And she's going to mix that in there and make the crab cake. I put Old Bay in here.
It wouldn't be cooking in Maryland without Old Bay, bro.
Yeah. I mean, look, one thing I do want to say is that, when I steam my crabs, because a lot of my stuff is steaming crabs. And when I steam my crabs, I do not steam them unless they're with JO. Now, this is JO number 1, and this is an all-purpose seasoning, but I usually use JO number 2. Okay. Now, you can substitute anything, Old Bay, with this if you want. Okay. I love ginger. She's actually really treated me pretty good. All right, go ahead and start mixing that up. Now, the only thing that we're careful with is because if you go out and you buy crab meat from any place, like the Maryland Crab House, Clayton's and stuff like that, they don't put any seasoning. I'm pretty sure they don't put no seasonings on their crab meat. Now this is all picked crab meat with J number 2, so it's kind of salty. So
these are crabs that you caught, right?
Yeah, this is crabs that we caught, and we saved over about 50 pounds of crab meat this year. So we use it the best that we can. Okay, you just start mixing, honey.
I
already
I'm
added.
gonna go off script real quick, but like I've seen so many of your videos about catch and cook. What percentage of the meat that you eat in your house do you think is meat that you guys have caught from the bay in the tributaries?
Well, it's pretty much rockfish. I mean, actually Saturday, as you're talking about, and we're going to add about a half a cup, maybe a half a cup of panko breadcrumbs with it. That might be a little bit more than half a cup.
Guys, if you're worried about following along with the recipe, I'm going to throw the recipe up later on in the show and just leave it up there so you guys can get a screenshot and all that. So don't worry about following along with what's in it. I'm going to share all that. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm hoping to be hooking up with, they're calling for snow and rain again this Saturday, but me and the Baltimore angler, I think we might try to hook up this weekend and go do some yellow perch fishing. Okay, once she has this, yeah, we're gonna do some yellow perch fishing. It's gonna be kind of fun, I think.
Where are you guys headed? You don't need to give me the spot, but like, what area y'all gonna go to?
We're on Eastern Shore. We'll be on the Eastern Shore. All right, so now all you got to do is take that. I want you to put that on top, like put that on top. So now what we're gonna do is just lay this crab meat on top of this. She should use her hands, but she don't want to get her nails all. There you go. There you go.
Your nails look lovely, Lori. I wouldn't want to get them dirty either.
It doesn't bother me.
Yeah, that's all right. Get that down in there. So we got the oven on high broil, and what we're going to do, we're going to look for the crab meat to really kind of look nice and golden brown, not burnt, but we want it nice and cooked. And by the time that cooks, the fish will be just fine and be done with the crab meat.
Man, it looks great.
Actually, we might save that for a crab boil. I think that's plenty. I think that'll be plenty. I think that's plenty right there. So we're letting the oven heat up right now. We'll probably make a crab cake out of this, and we'll let the mother-in-law have that. So we're letting the oven heat up now, and then we'll go ahead and stick that on there. And let me tell you what, man, that stuff is delish. All right, I'm going to try to hook this up without cutting it off. I'm like you. I'm not very See my overkill shirt? You got a nice shot of hockey. There you go. I'm like Tommy. I like my heavy metal, man. I like my music. All right.
So there's food in the oven?
Yeah, we're gonna let that go ahead and we're gonna let that right now. The oven should be about ready to go, and then we're gonna stick that in there.
That's right.
That's good.
Oh, cool. So we're gonna let that cook for a while, and just like any cooking show, we'll pull it out and get a good look at it and make everyone salivate at the end. But
the worst part about it is going to be so good, but she don't eat fish.
What'd you
That's
say?
the sad part. She don't eat fish.
Well, she knows how to make it, so that's. But everyone we've brought on the show this year so far, we've sort of talked about a specific kind of fish, and I know you like to do largemouth bass fishing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
That's my number one.
So, what is it about largemouth bass that keep you coming back?
Because it's like when you think you got to figure it out, you don't. So it keeps you, always learning. No matter how, I don't care if you ever watch Major League Fishing.
Mm-hmm.
You can see on that TV. Now that's a love-hate relationship with that, but you can see one guy, one of the best in the world, struggle, and on the same show, another guy somewhere else absolutely slamming him. Even though this guy is right on top of him, he sees him, but he can't get him to bite. So that's all the thing is getting. You're fighting to get that bite. And sometimes it's easy, but largemouth will definitely make you want to come back for more the way out.
We got a question coming in from Bass Rack Outdoors. He said, "What's your absolute favorite way to cook any type of seafood?"
Just like you seen it, Old Bay and butter. Old Bay butter's a good, even just plain like that, little butter, Old Bay, and then maybe you put some lemon on top of it. You know,
Boom.
that's
Man,
pretty much.
I'll tell you what.
Simple.
Butter, lemon, and I mean, I don't always do Old Bay because I'm actually not from here. I'm a convert, and I've started to use Old Bay. But I mean, butter and lemon. I don't think you can cook fish without those two.
Not here in Maryland. I mean, and that's as bad as you can't get any more simpler than that.
And guys, just to remind you, we have a prize. I'm not even going to mention the prize because I think the prize is super awesome, and I'm going to sort of leave that as a hanger for the end of the show. But Sam here will be choosing the best question of the night, and the best question will receive that award package. Cambo Trout says, favorite bass lure. What you got?
It's a fight between I'm a Zoom guy and I love topwater. Topwater is my favorite, and if I can get them chasing, I like a Zoom horny toad. That's probably my favorite topwater bait. It's pretty much like a buzz bait, but it's a little bit more subtle. It's a little bit more subtle. It don't make as much noise. If you need noise, you definitely have to, you might want to definitely, go to a buzz bait, but I definitely like the Zoom horny toad. And then crankbait, I love throwing crankbaits right in the middle of a tree.
Yeah, see, I'm from the South, and I don't know what, you see largemouth bass pulled out of waters up here, and they look a little different than they do down south. And then you see largemouth bass pulled out of Florida waters, and they look different again. But
we got longer, less because you got another thing. You got
a Carolina rig plastic worm would outcatch everything by far.
I struggle with that. I think I fished that once or twice. I got 150 pounds St. Bernard walking around with this flimsy thing. All right, lay down, young lady. The Carolina rig, I threw it a couple times. I think I was on Lake Anna one time, and we threw that. The water was so clear, so you really had to kind of, you had to stay out a little bit. And you wanted to hit some points out on there. You kind of wanted to drag at off points, and we used that time. I think that's about the only time I really ever used
that. Without giving away your honey holes, roughly where do you go on the Chesapeake and its tributaries? Because obviously you're not fishing for largemouth bass on the main stem of the bay, but where are you going in the Chesapeake waters, meaning its tributaries, without giving away your honey holes, just generally?
Well, I pretty much live right on the Choptank River, and it's very frustrating because I'm used to where I started fishing was up around Dundee, Gunpowder, Middle River, Bush River, and even though it's tidal water, when you come down here to the Eastern Shore, it was a complete learning experience. I mean, I got very frustrated, but Choptank River is my main. That's my home river, and I love it. I love
it. Question from Butch Huber. What's going on, Butch?
Hey, Butch.
What's your best advice for early spring bass fishing on Maryland's Eastern Shore? Technique, etc. Butch is going for question of the night.
Yeah, put Butch down there. Great Butch. Well, if you're on a river, the way I look at it is that I don't think the bass move as far away from where they're going to be all year long. You know what I mean? So I don't think but when you're talking about when I fish like Piney Run, Triadelphia, stuff like that, they're going to start staging. Once that water starts warming up, you're going to look for areas probably close to like the mouth where they're going to actually start feeding. And, you're going to be looking for bait fish, but you're going to look where they're going to start feeding to start pre-spawn before they start going in to go and start looking for beds and get it up for spawning. The way I look at it, I would definitely stay out in the mouths of the rivers, because it's transition. It's all seasonal. Wintertime, Piney Run, they'll go real deep and they'll travel, I think, really, really far to spawn. So you got to find that point right before. It's probably secondary points. I wouldn't maybe go main points. I'd probably go like a secondary point would probably be where I would start.
How deep are you talking with that secondary point on Piney Run?
Piney Run has pretty deep holes in there. I mean, it's pretty deep there. So to go up into the channels, I mean, you're talking 20 foot on some spots that comes up. I mean, you have the Piney Run in this one channel that we fish is you have some really clear points to come out, but it really comes out. So I figured they'll stage there first to really start feeding before they actually start moving up.
So with these secondary points, we're talking about getting down 20 plus feet. Well,
it could be a secondary point. It depends on where you're at. If you go up to Johnson Pond down here where it's, non-tidal, your deepest part in there is only 7 foot. Right. Where Pond Run is, you might have 25 foot there. Johnson's Pond, your deepest point is going to be 7 foot.
Perfect segue to my next question, which is there a difference between targeting largemouth and Chesapeake waters versus some of these ponds around here?
Yeah, it's all about current. If you're fishing tidal water, it's current. And that's where I really learned down here, fishing up in Gunpowder. Fishing Gunpowder, you don't really tell so much. You can throw a wacky rig in a spot and it'll stay there. You come down here and you throw a wacky rig in the current that we have down here, it pretty much flies. That was a frustration for me coming down here, getting used to really finding the fish and where they're at. And but a pond, it could be. I pretty much just lost my train of thought. Say that again.
The difference between a pond and
it's current. I'm talking current. I got current on my mind all day long. Current. The only kind of in a pond, the best thing the wind is pretty much going to do is pretty much going to create current and where you guys like Cambo Trout and Butch, they can't stand the wind. Where wind in a pond, you or anywhere like that. Probably the windiest point, the windiest bank. I know it's hard to be out there, but that's probably where I would fish. Yeah, that's where the current is. Because everything's going to move up, the plankton and everything for the bait fish.
Yeah, is it ready already?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's what that super broil. What'd you say? Put it on high broil.
We put it on high broil. I think we weren't paying attention to it.
Let's go ahead and take it out. You guys. If you come and watch season 35 of the Crazyhorse Fishing Saloon, by then we'll be able to feed you through the computer.
All right, I'm gonna try to take this off again.
You'll just be able to open your mouth but I'll be charging admission. Oh, that looks delicious. Wow, look at that, guys. So then, if you were to plate that, Sam, what would you do? Just use a spatula and
I would use a spatula to take it off of there.
Got it.
I mean, you really want me to plate it and stuff?
No. You're fine. I thought it looked great. So anything else that you would do? Would you squirt any more lemon or put a garnish on it or anything like that?
Lemon.
Yeah, she would we'll probably put lemon on it. Which I forgot to pull out. Sorry.
That's all right.
See, she does all the cooking. She's the brains of the outfit.
And she makes it that good, and she doesn't eat fish. That's pretty impressive.
She won't eat it. She'll eat tuna fish out of a can.
Shrimp and crabs.
We were talking about, and actually, while we're there on the food, because we might not come back to that. I'm actually going to throw up the recipe right now and give everyone a few seconds just to screenshot that. Let me take the question off. There we go. Guys, screenshot that. Also, this will be the recording will be up on YouTube, usually within an hour or so. So if you're not able to do a screenshot right now, you can come back and get that later.
Thank you.
All righty. And the prize for what you got there?
That's IPA.
Oh yeah, it's a Maryland brewery. Yeah.
Find out.
the prize for tonight is not, this isn't all of it. Sam, do you have the rest of them handy?
Yeah. These are my favorite crankbaits that I throw. This one is the one. This one is the one that I like in the springtime. I guess depending on the color, the color of the water, but this has been the best for me. I got
and what are those called, Sam?
It's a KVD 1.5 crankbait.
Strike King.
Yeah, Strike King.
And then tell us about the jigs in the picture here.
Well, this right here is a local guy from the Eastern Shore, and his Paul Jigs. He's a guy that makes them. He sent me a couple, and these right here, right now pickle fishing. Got a couple of the little spinners. Got a couple of little spinners here. That'd be great for pickle right now. Even as the white, yellow perch come in and the white perch come behind it. Yep. If you want to swim something, that's a good bait like that. He makes that's almost like a regular little. Now these are definitely small for panfish. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I'm gonna throw in some JO #1 all around spice.
Yeah.
Right. And here's a bigger
lucrative prize tonight, guys. You're gonna get some local look like pretty handmade jigs.
Yeah, they're all handmade, and you can go to his Instagram. He's on Instagram. I don't think he's on Facebook. He's on Instagram, and he seems like a really, really nice guy. I actually got some baits coming for the what's it called? The butt whooping on the James Allen. Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah. So what Sam's hinting at is for some of you guys that really pay attention, about a year and a half ago, I think, I don't know, time flies, but at the time it was the Baltimore angler, Sam, Cambo Trout, myself, and Tommy Robinson and Kevin Hogan at Bass Rack that started it. But now there's four of us left, and that's Kevin, myself, Cambo Trout, and Sam. And at the end of March, we have a 4-man fishing tournament jam that has caused quite a bit of trash talking. Like none of our Facebook Messenger thread is appropriate for this. I'll just say that none of it's appropriate for this.
A bass fish is going to come down and show you how to catch some. Hopefully, some redfish will be up there.
Which guys, for everyone watching, I'll figure out something humiliating to do if he outfishes me. But like, there's no way a largemouth bass fisherman is going to come down and outfish me on the salt. Just not going to happen. But hey, we'll see. We're probably not going to live cast it for the same reason that I just said, is that the trash talking just is not going to be family appropriate. But we're all going to record it and make our separate versions. So I'm sure Sam will figure out some way to twist the facts to make it look like he won. But regardless of what happens, Sam is listening.
I'll throw the proof up on Chesapeake Outdoor Sports video too.
Hey.
I'll throw it up there. And since I'm editing it, I'll pretty much throw it my way.
Butch asked another question that I think we left out some information. So what we're gonna do is maybe we need to work out these details a little bit more. I know it's biggest overall, and then we have a Calcutta for largest striper, largest redfish, largest trout. So
I'm hoping the weather needs to work. We really need that weather to really. We got a month, and it's got to warm up quickly.
Yeah, but hey, it's looking good, man. Tomorrow it's going to be 60 degrees over here. So
I'm taking my boat. I'm getting some work done on my boat tomorrow. I got to get a new prop on it and getting the water pump replaced. But I'm going to have that all taken care of tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Kevin says, Laura, you're the cooking queen.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just a good-looking one. I bring the good looks to the table.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit there. My man Michael, who I just sent his previous award to today, he said, "What's your PB bass caught in Maryland?"
5.8.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that won me at last year. It was pretty early in the season, and I don't want to say where I was at. Well, I don't want to say where I was at, but it was on a river down here on the Eastern Shore. And the good thing, the Eastern Shore is kind of like the way the tides are. You know, if you can hit a spot, there's a couple spots that I know. I'm telling you, I fished it a lot and I've done good, but I hit this spot at the right time. I mean, it couldn't have been better because, I mean, within a half an hour, I had 25 pounds worth of fish, largemouth, and throw in 2 7, 8 pound. Last year, I had more catfish hit my crankbait than, I mean, I'm talking, they were 2 7, 8 pounders. I was going to keep at least one, but I didn't want to, I couldn't put them in my live well because of the largemouth. But I sit on one point and sat there and fished to that same rock pile and through the same cast, and it's amazing how they will reload and they'll in them rivers. I mean, a lot of them places they'll reload on there, and if you get there right time, man, it can be. I can't tell you, that was one of the best half an hours I've ever had.
5.8, a 5 pound 8 ounce largemouth. That's a big bass anywhere. Like I said, growing up in Georgia, like when I first moved to this area and people would say, "Man, I caught a 4 pound largemouth." I was like, "What? Who cares? That's nothing." Because in Georgia, really, a 4 pound largemouth is probably when they start to get a little bit big, considered. But like 5.8, that's big anywhere.
Oh yeah, I'll take. I won that tournament too, man. We were only weighing 3 fish that day, and I had 11 point something in 3 fish, like 12 pounds in 3 fish, and that was pretty damn fun. I can tell you that.
That was the winner, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Took all our money. Like, it's like, it's a reoccurring thing, come to the end of the month. It's just
like this.
David asked, switching to crabs. David asked, preferred steamed or boiled crabs. And I don't know who he is that he gets to keep female crabs. I sure as heck don't. But males or females are best eating.
Steamed, obviously, we're in Maryland. Maryland, if you're boiling crabs, you're probably going to be exiled from the state. But we all like males. Females are just as good. They always say the meat's a little sweeter, but I get lucky once in a while because I live right next door, because on my channel, I could do some commercial crabbing. And my next door neighbor, woman, it's Captain Rachel. I go with her all the time, and she's right next door. And she does more than enough to take care of me. And she ever has any extra, hey, I got like a bushel. I don't like taking females, but they say the females pretty much only produce once, So they pretty much only have babies once. So I get them once in a while. I say pretty cheap. Mm-hmm. They're good for picking. That's what crab meat. Whenever you go out to a restaurant, I'll tell you now. If everybody don't know, but when you go out to a restaurant and you're buying crab meat or crab cakes, most likely it's female. It's female crabs.
Interesting.
Hi, Cindy.
So going back to largemouth bass fishing, on your average day, what does your setup look like when we're talking rod, reel, line? Are you, for saltwater guys, are you using a leader? Just let's talk about what you're using.
Well, I guess maybe I'm a little more old school. I've never ever, except when I went blue fishing one time, I put a leader on. I might this year put some fluorocarbon on my braid when I'm fishing a wacky rig, because braid will float, and sometimes it's hard. So that fluorocarbon will actually help a weightless actually help get down inside the water. But pretty much, I got about a 6.5 foot rod. I got a Revo on there, and I guess it depends. Crankbait.
Abu Garcia, right?
Abu Garcia Revo. Maybe 30-pound test with a 15-pound diameter. That's pretty much my basic. I mean, I usually don't go crazy. I actually won't lie to you. I actually might keep one rod with braid. I think I might pretty much go over the fluorocarbon, especially on my spinning reels. If I'm going to fish like Texas rig or wacky rig or something, I think I'm gonna like go to fluorocarbon. It's got a little stretch. Top water can really kind of with that braid with no stretch. Sometimes I think we rip that bait away before they actually get even if they do have it because of having no stretch.
Right. So no mono.
Unlike snakehead.
You don't use mono at all, right?
No, I have two. I do have two that's mono, but for the most part, I really don't use that too much. But I'm not scared to use it. That's all I ever used to use.
Yes.
Mono. 15-pound big game trilene. That's my mono. I use all the time.
Tommy asked, what's the craziest thing ever hooked while fishing? I got cooking on the brain.
Turtle. Grabbed my lure, picked up a turtle. Thank God I wanted a snapping turtle, but I picked a turtle up.
Yeah, I was fishing with a friend that caught a snapping turtle. I guess you guys can't tell how big that is, but and he really wanted his lure back or whatever it was, and I was like, nah, you're just gonna have to give that one up, son.
Right.
Tell us about your boat. How does the setup of your boat maximize your catch rate for the way that you fish?
Well, for bass fishing, it's pretty much set up like a bass boat. It is all aluminum and it's express. I got to admit, I've had it since 2013 and everything that I've needed to do. The problem was I always wanted a bass boat. But the problem is that, hanging with my buddy Keith, going out on his bass boat all the time, fiberglass, you can't be crabbing you can, but you can't really crab out of that. And I don't really like carpet. So the aluminum boat has no carpet in it. I can clean it up. I can switch it out, but it's set up for bassing, and then I can switch and go hunting in it, and I can go crabbing in it. And the wife says, "Yay, crabbing!"
So you have it set up to be sort of more versatile than strictly yeah.
It's bass, but it looks like. I mean, if you look at it, it pretty much looks like like set up like a bass boat. I got a trolling motor up and recess for that. I'm trying to get a spot lock, and thank God by the end of the month I should have a couple $100. I'm thinking to go toward.
No. That's one of our big advantages, man. You get spot lock for the tournament, man.
Well, we're just hoping it warms up enough that we go, Chef. We got to go jigging. Don't worry, I got it, man. I got it handled. I got my buddy Cambo trap. My girl.
Cambo's sitting at home right now. Cambo said, by the way, that I'll throw this up. He said, you guys need a team name, Sam. But Cambo's sitting at home right now hearing you're going to get spot lock, and he's like, yes.
No, I'm not getting. No. The wife ain't going for spot lock.
Oh, no.
We're collecting money. We figure I got 3 guys that are going to donate the end of the month. That's going to go towards my new spot lock.
All right. You know what? Alan, just because of your lovely, luscious locks, I'm going to throw this question up there. Alan, smartass Batista asks, who could catch more fish, Grant using a bear hook or Sam using his favorite lure? I'd change that question around a little bit, but
Right. Well, Grant, he's the man. I watch everything. I'll just say Grant will probably do better with the bear hook. And thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it, man. I watched your live last week. I can't watch it at nighttime. That's why he switched it for me, because my work calls me up at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I'm in bed way early. So this gave me a chance to be able to sit up and enjoy it and make some food and everything. So Alan, to do all that stuff you do on a kayak is pretty awesome.
Another question from Kevin. He asked, what's your go-to lure when the bass aren't biting? That's a good question.
Well, I guess it depends on what time of the year it is. Summertime, man, guys, I'm telling you, my buddy thought I was crazy, but it's midsummertime. Everybody's done seen every little wacky rig, every little jig, every little Ned rig. They've done seen it all. And I swear to God, I throw in a 10-inch Zoom, 10-inch black blue worm Texas rig. 10-inch. I mean, don't be scared to go big when it gets tough. And I guess when it's colder out, maybe a grub. I like throwing a grub and you get slow. I mean, one of the videos I had was one of them days. I threw we ran into DNR that day, and it was 28 degrees out. It was on the Chick. It was on the Chick McComico down. It was on Chick. It was 28 degrees out. The water temp was probably 38 degrees, and the water was 1 foot all the way down. And I was just slow rolling a jig.
1 foot deep?
I mean, a grub.
Oh, okay.
Just a grub. And it's a certain color. And I'm gonna tell you what, man, I really picked the brain out of John from Denton Rod and Tackle, man. When I want to know stuff on Eastern Shore, I definitely go and pick his brain. He's definitely helped me out a lot too, learning the rivers down here.
I'll tell you what, growing up catching largemouth bass has in some ways helped me be a better striped bass fisherman, because every once in a while I'll bring one weird largemouth bass lure that I would never use for anything else, and I'll tie it on when nothing else is working. And I'll never forget, a couple of years ago, I was trolling everything. I was trolling, Alan, if you're here, I was trolling all of your lures that were in your book that almost always work, and nothing was. And I just looked in my box and I was like, oh, what the hell? I threw on a spinnerbait. Spinnerbait. Nobody uses a spinnerbait to catch striped bass, right?
Why, man? It looks like little bait ball, man.
Boom. And it had one of those like leaf-shaped golden spinner leaves on it. And man, I threw that thing on there, just started trolling it, and it just lit it up, completely lit it up. And
I got a little quick. Who was that last question by? Do you remember the last question? Who was that by? I want to write his name in.
What's your go-to lure? That's Kevin Hogan. He can't win.
No, I'm talking about when it was tough out. When it gets tough out in the weather.
Yeah, he said, "What's your go-to lure when the bass aren't biting?"
Oh, that's Kevin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can't win.
He can win.
That was a good question, though. That's a good question.
It was a good question. Not as good as Butch's question, but whatever.
No, Butch is still number one. But hey, let me real quick. My buddy, we were out there fishing. It was a pond, it was a big kind of lake that we had to walk around, and he tried everything. I swear, everything in his lure, and he pulled out the Rowan Martin helicopter lure. And his second cast, he caught like a 6-pound largemouth out of this pond with the helicopter lure. So there's my funny bait to catch.
If things get tough. So I love your channel because I love the catch and cook, but the hunting stuff is great, the fishing stuff is great. Tell us about Outdoors in Maryland.
I'm really just trying to have fun. I mean, I tell you the truth, I think I might throw catfish in there. I think the Baltimore angler, my buddy, I went last summer. I went for the first time and actually went looking for big catfish. And we went out like 11 o'clock at night and fished to the morning. And we were catching 20, 30-pound catfish. And, when you're bass fishing and you're in a tournament for like 8 hours, let me tell you what, man, you're casting 1,000 times. That wears your butt out a little bit, especially, I mean, it's just a long day, no matter where you're at. Yep. But there, man, you just throw them lines out, man, and you can sit back, and it was a little bit more relaxing, but it was fun. And I got the stuff out there. I'm rigging my boat up to do some catfishing. My buddy goes, your YouTube channel, there's 300 million channels for fishing, and most of it, so, I mean, where can I stand out? Where I stand out pretty much is going to be my crabbing videos, most likely. And we're going to just do catch and cook. I think this year we might throw a little bit more barbecue in there, smoking some stuff. I mean, there's a million channels for that too, but maybe what we're catching, with the fish and stuff like that. So I think we might throw a little bit more smoking, barbecue, taking our smoker out there and doing that stuff. That's pretty much, I think, what we're doing.
What inspired you to start the channel?
The main ones were the three guys here. One was Tommy. When I started watching, it was funny because we're watching his channels. I was looking for I was on YouTube looking for local guys fishing. Tommy came up first, and my wife's in the kitchen, and he's playing. Now, most likely, half you guys are not going to know this, but he was playing music, and the music was a band called Death Angel. And you heard my wife in the back room, who is playing Death Angel on their music? So I started watching all his videos, and then I started watching Cambo a lot. I really watched Cambo a lot and the Baltimore Angler. And I was like, man, I do the same stuff, I mean, I just start filming it, and it's kind of what did it. But Dear Me for Dinner did it too. That's like he's got like 2 million subscribers, talking how he decided that he was just going to start filming what he did for a living. and he's living a good life right now. But me, I'm just kind of having fun, and I'm enjoying. I mean, a lot of good guys like you and Kevin, and a lot of guys. I mean, I got guys who really hate YouTubers. I mean, one of my best buds, Ken Knotts, he watches it all day, but he can't stand the guys that do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing. You actually taught me something, and I don't think you intentionally did it, but I was just looking at your channel one day, and I was like, man, I just have pictures of all of my videos, like a picture of me catching a fish, and I never put any effort into the thumbnail. And I saw that you had these cool thumbnails, and so this is my first time telling you, but you were the one that inspired me to start putting more effort into my thumbnails. What plans do you have? So I guess you're going to do more catfishing on Outdoors in Maryland.
Catfishing, a little bit more catfishing. It's just been fun, and I think we're going to throw a little bit more barbecue into it. Pretty easy stuff, but I mean, we're going to try to go crazy with what we smoke. And I can tell you, once I taught my wife how to use a smoker, it's probably like hands off. I just got to help her, move it, and then she's like, "Okay, I got it." And she goes, "I don't know how to." She just does it all.
Question I ask everybody. It'll be our last question of the evening before we give away the prize. But tell me the story about the craziest thing. You already told me the craziest thing that happened to you hunting. What's the craziest thing that ever happened to you on the water?
That's kind of a hard one. Well, I can tell you a story that I was going fishing a long time ago. We were. That's why I lived in. That's why I lived in Baltimore. We were going to fish, and one of the places we fished was John Spine. So we made a trip. A friend of mine, his grandfather had a trailer not too far from the Red Rooster that does a lot of crabs down here on the Eastern Shore, and we used to go there once or twice summertime, and we were staying there. And my one car had broke down, and so I had just bought another car, but I used the tags. I didn't have it all registered yet, and the trip was here. So I took the tag off of my one car, put it on the other one. So as I'm going through Easton, I'm relaxing. I got my foot up on the dashboard while I turn my lights out. So as I go through Easton, my lights were out. So as soon as I turned my lights on, I got pulled over. The good thing is, I just told them.
You were a lot younger then, right? I'm hoping.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my friend was in front of us.
It sounds like a dumb young guy thing to do. Go ahead. Yeah.
He went all the way down to Salisbury, and I'm in Easton. And he finally, the cop pulled me over. He just let me pull. He didn't lock me up for nothing, but he was really cool. And but we sat down there for hours. He finally, because we didn't have cell phones back then. So my buddy turned around from Salisbury and drove all the way back to Easton looking for us, not finding us. So by the time we finally come pick us up, we got down there, it was already getting ready to be light. We just stayed up and then fished the rest of the day. So we didn't go to sleep at night. We kind of just, that's the fun story about one of the wacky stories.
Wow, man, that sounds like a fishing trip. See, had everything been working, had you had the tags right and the lights right, you would have caught the fish of the lifetime on that trip.
We probably caught nothing. We had a better day, probably. All the trouble. It wasn't like anybody was mad about it. It was just, it is what it was. We just had a good time, drank beer, and caught fish. Awesome. That was definitely the fun part.
Well, let me throw the prize back up. Pull out those crankbaits, and we'll do a little drum roll.
All right. So, what was the question with Michael Ontario's? There's a crankbait.
Oh, Michael won again?
No. I was asking what his question was.
Okay, so we're trying to figure out which one the best question of the night is. Okay, hang on. Let's.
I think Butch is pretty much got because he's.
Michael asked, "What's your personal best bass caught in Maryland?" Butch was. What's your best advice for early spring bass fishing on Maryland's Eastern Shore? Technique, etc.
Yeah, that's Butch. Butch the man.
Butch. Congratulations, Butch! You won the jigs, the seasoning, and the jerk baits. The crankbaits. My bad. Let me get this thing off the screen. Well, Sam, you are the man. Guys, give Outdoors in Maryland a subscribe, a like. I really like what you do over there. And, thanks so much for coming on the show. Anything you want to close with?
Just, you guys just, bring some napkins or some tissues with you March 28th because you guys are going to need them. Other than that, man, it's been fun.
March 28th.
It's going to be the worst part is going to be like an entirely long drive from Canada Trail. So he's probably going to drive most of the way down with me, I would think, to meet you guys. And he's going to know, and I'm going to be talking about how I won the whole time. And he's just going to, he might walk. He might walk. Might want to go back home with me.
Actually, I was just thinking about tonight. I was like, man, cross our fingers. It's nice and warm, and there's calm water. I might leave from here and deal. I mean, if I could take the boat over instead of drive, it's like 45 minutes versus 2.5 hours. It's just
but you go, you get over there, and then all of a sudden you got 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds to get back. You just drive it down there.
Hey, but you know what? If they have internet these days, I can just work virtual. Like I don't have to.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
But hey, guys, thanks so much for watching. Sam, thank you so much. Next week we got Kevin Hogan with Bass Rack Outdoors. It's going to be a lot of fun. And that tournament that we're talking so much trash is coming up. So catch you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.
See you.
Just like